The views expressed here on a Thursday are not necessarily a true representation of ours. We're only here for the drama.
And drama indeed. You know, there's a song that goes, Captain, this ship is sinking. Captain, these seas are rough. Unfortunately, I don't know the rest of the song. So y'all will have to fill in the rest of that, all right? So we are live on Facebook at Extreme 104 SVG. All right, so go like, go share, go comment, drop a little 2 cents there, you understand? And of course, you hit us up on 4301043. Also, okay. You can call us at 4571043. Something just dawned on me. All right? Something just dawned on me. For a very long time, I'm speaking as if I'm like 50 years old, but for quite some time, I have been thinking, and people have been saying, right? What we really should be doing is working towards reducing our imports, especially when it comes to food. And for some time, even though we've been always saying that this is what we should be doing, import bill is too high. Pay attention right now. Hardly anything has been done to reduce that import bill and to increase exports. Well, to the difference between import and export, to narrow that gap or to reduce the import bill point blank. Now, what we're discussing, if you're just joining us, right? Minister of Finance has said that it's going to be difficult to borrow money going forward. All right? This story is on IWNSVG. It says difficulties borrowing money could force government to axe social and capital programs, right? So it says here that they haven't raised anywhere close to the $150 million that is approved by Parliament that they can borrow on the local exchange market, right? It says the reason is that in other countries, there are 2 prime ministers have made public statements, that they're looking at restructuring debt and they don't know whether or not they'll be able to pay their debt in the future, right? This is if you're just joining and you weren't able to really catch up or figure out what we're talking about. It says here in the rest of the article, we don't have the types of challenges that other countries had that were borrowing a lot of money, a lot of short-term money at high interest rates that they have to pay back. Our debts are more low interest, long-term, and so on. All right. It says, however, we cannot continue running the types of deficits that we are running. Policy decisions will have to be made in the near future. Hold on. Let me read that properly. Policy decisions will have to be made in the very near future. Do you know what very near future means? It means it's right around the corner. It means not 2 years from now, probably not a year from now, in a couple months from now, right? Very near future. That's what I take it to mean about what has to be sacrificed. sacrificed to keep the government's fiscal situation in order. Before we get to public servant salaries, you might have to cut back on public assistance. Some of the assistance, the tremendous assistance that we're giving to people who have been affected by COVID. They might have to cut back on the income support to those affected by the volcano. The types of support that they've been given to farmers, and some farmers are still complaining about not getting. Some people are saying that some of the farmers on the list aren't even farmers, but they have farmers ID. How about you take those people off, do a nice little cleanup, and take off all those who don't deserve the money? Maybe you'll save some money there. And the fisher folk. Those are the things that they're going to have to cut back on. All right. Let me go down some more. If you're just joining us, and for the benefit of persons on the live, it's getting more and more difficult to borrow because the local market is spooked. He said that the government programs such as support for education and training, or the SET program, have to be watched. What you have to watch them for? For the people who have been on the SET program for how many years now? Is that true? What are you watching? It says here, we are just about to enter a new cycle of the SET program. We had an inflated number of young people on the SET program over the last year and a half because of the volcano. And I'm pretty sure those individuals are really grateful. The minister said, adding that while each cohort, not a program, is kept, not sure what happened there, for 1 year, the last group of interns was not terminated on time because of April's eruption of last April. Absolutely certain that they're grateful for that. All right, thank you very much, Minister of Finance and the government of SVG. Says, in fact, we took on more people as a form of support and to help young people get jobs when the private sector was obviously not hiring. Private sector still ain't hiring, by the way. And private sector still throwing off people, by the way. All right. And businesses still struggling to stay afloat, by the way. But now we're at a new cycle of set. And we're going to have to decide how many people we can take on. And it is going to be a situation, one, where we're going to have to look at what we can afford. Have you been overspending over the past few years? Have you been allowing too much of our money to be spent unnecessarily? I'm speaking about revenue leakage. I'm not implying anything here. I'm speaking about general revenue leakage. Not managing your offices properly could result in revenue leakage. If you are wasting money on, this might be very small, but I'm just drawing an example. If you're wasting money on office supplies, if you have government employees who are using vehicles for their own personal benefit and they're wasting the gas, if you have government employees who are destroying vehicles, that is a form of revenue leakage. Money is being wasted to do things that you can cut back on. Our supplies and resources being wasted within the government, so much so that it is impacting the government bank balance. It says we will have to ascertain their own vaccine status. Here we go again. Speaking in reference to nurses and teachers. But you get the gist. So all programs have to be reviewed. All programs. None of them are under the axis today as we speak, but the main thing we can do to keep things afloat is to improve our rate of vaccination so that we can open up the economy more. You know the people who are really feeling it the most? Now you have to wonder, like I said before, we've been talking about the importation bill and how fanciful it'll be if we can cut back on the imports, right? But think about the implications on the government. This is a major revenue earner for the government. A major revenue earner for the government. You realize that the position that we are in is not a very good one. That is why it is so easy and possibly one of the quickest things to do. So you get money from loans. You get money from grants, right? You also get money from taxes. You also get money from imports. All right? Duties, customs duties. All of those things, right? I listed 4. Those things there, right? That is why most of the times you will always hear VAT going up, this tax going up, we are applying these things at the port because they are major revenue earners for the government. They have to be able to pay their salaries, they have to be able to service their loans, and they have to be able to conduct other capital projects. Pay attention and read between the lines. Let's get some responses in. All right? We'll get to the Facebook responses in just a bit. Somebody has this to share. We go wait long on for them, rather, to make any serious attempt at reducing the import bill. Because listen, they need that money that's coming in.
Morning, Crystal.
Money.
The government making money from the tax that I keep adding on the supermarket. It's making money from the traffic cops and them. Look at how much traffic cops and the road harassing the van man then. You know? The man just know how to make the money. He know how to make the money. So even though he let the money out, he know how to make it back. You know? But he don't know how to put on a little money on his salary.
What money? Where the money coming from to go on the salary? Where it coming from? I should have walked with my magnifying glass this morning or my binoculars. Where the money coming from? And very good point there, basically. Very good point there. Right? Somebody called in a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the protocols on the road for the van drivers, right? And I spoke to a van driver a couple of weeks ago as well. He said that he paid over $1,000 in tickets with the 12 passengers, right? Somebody said that the government might collect maybe about $30,000 in a month or a week. You really think, pay attention to. People have been complaining about the pressure on van drivers, but if it's a major revenue earner, why you think they're gonna stop? If they're getting a lot of money from unruly van drivers who just ain't paying attention to the rules of the road because they understand that they're gonna break the rules and it's very easy for them to make a little dollar from that. You think they're gonna stop pressuring you guys? The only how that will stop is if all you follow the rules. If y'all want to strike, strike in that. Follow the rules. All right? Don't give them a reason to charge you. But they will always come out because it's a major revenue earner. All right? Let's get some more in. Somebody says, good morning, Crystal. So if you have all those questions about finances, why are you not asking your government for about accountability and transparency? Are they not important to you? If not, stop asking those questions. The intentions need accountability for the past 20 years. All right, let's get some more in. Good morning, Crystal. Big up yourself. When you do not have proper accountability, here we go again, on the part of the government, then we have to ask those questions. The $95 million that was talked about, what happens? What's up with that? When the public accounts are not properly reported, then it appears that the government might be acting shady. All right, appearance versus reality. And it opens them up to public scrutiny and questions like these. All right. Somebody says, good morning, Nisha. Political promises, example, what happened to the money paid for that Peter's Hope project? Where did the money come from for the purchasing back of our shares at Bank of St. Vincent and Grenadines? From taxes. And due to bad management, bad forecasting, we are where we are. Arnhem used to spoke of the debts down to the day that is owed. We need him to share an opinion on our debts because there is no one in the NDP who can do it. I ain't reading that one day, but thank you for the link. I'll check that out when I take a break, all right? Frightening if this is their planning. There's a listing for 2021, the entire year, hoping governments or persons would invest. All right. Treasury bill offers for the entire year, and clearly people are not interested. Is that where we hope to get money? All right. Some other questions. Here's another one. Good morning. So if they're at a new cycle of set, how are set workers who started March 2020 extended to December 2021? I think it said that they are about to start. The finance minister said that another issue is assigning set workers. All right. No, it says here, but we're at a new cycle. Oh, so the new cycle start. Oh, so you mean probably there's an overlap. Perhaps there's an overlap. Somebody says, good morning, Extreme Family. The government have to cut back on those monies they gave to entertainment to the politicians. Cut back on that. Good morning. To build money for the country, cut back on imports and do more exports because we take farmers off their normal farming and out them public assistance and wait on handouts. If you cut back or if you ask them to reduce or ask the country to reduce the imports, that is less revenue for the government. They can't afford that. All right. We got to listen to those first before we can play them. Somebody says, okay, no, that is for a little bit later on this morning. Hey, Crystal, persons used to get $300 a month. They cut it without any notice. Mother walk. Good morning, Crystal. Lack of management in the country. Somebody says mismanagement. Somebody says on Facebook, good morning, taking the vaccine and getting COVID, you still have to be treated as those who don't. Okay, boss man, I don't know if you were really paying attention or if you just like have your thing on mute, but we're talking about something else here, right? We're talking about the state of affairs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. All right, so please pay attention. Okay, thank you very much. So continuing, as I asked before, the future ain't looking good. And I'm going to say something. I hope the Minister of Finance will continue speaking. You've been kind of silent for some time, but every time you speak, I just feel better and worse at the same time. Better in the sense that we have a realistic view of what is happening in terms of the economy. Worse because the truth, oh my gosh, it hurts in my heart. And you have to wonder sometimes, what were we being told all the time? What we were being told all the time was either to make it seem that all was well, but is this the real state of affairs for the past couple years? And we were told something totally different, or we were given a different impression? That is madness. That is madness. Somebody says, let's take a call right now. Hello, good. All right, we missed that one. If you want to call us, 457-1043. Somebody says, too much retired people still working. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Crystal.
Good morning, Mr.
Let me say this,
Hamilton.
I still love you, I still love you because yesterday when I called you on the open session, you promised me 8 o'clock. But anyway, I forgive you. Because let me say this, I have to help you to help us. I'm not in any kind of a political thing. And so I've said to you here on this very radio station, my ex, nobody can get my ex anymore. Crystal, I want people that can be honest with us. I come here to be honest. In fact, when everything I come here, I challenge anybody that if Mr. Hamilton come on here, and I believe you too, must be responsible enough to state things that is very responsible. Because if I insist, I think...
All right, to the point, Mr.
The
Hamilton.
point today
to
is
the
that
point.
really I'm very happy that you're saying we're not hearing Mr. Gov'T. We depended on him. I depended on him. I gave all my attention with my mother to make sure he said he was going to look after us. He never said he was going to punish us. And I'm saying it is time that he tell us what is the very financial situation. What is happening in our country? How are we paying our bills? And I mean, what is happening with our farmers? What is happening with our van drivers? What is happening with Crystal? How are you going to be able to get a bonus when Christmas comes? How are you
My bonus is not dependent on...
How are you able to pay your bills? I mean, when you get your little salary, would your business be able to sustain you? What are we doing to help those people that got coronavirus and lost their job? Or, for example, remittances coming in that gone to dog, And I'm only done. So I'm saying here, it is time that we hear from them. But equally, Crystal, it is time we hear from the opposition. You notice, Crystal, is only me calling here, or Slider, or Dave Roberts, or...
A lot of other people are calling,
people
Mr. Hamilton.
Actually sending WhatsApp and so on, but people are literally wondering what is happening with our country. Yesterday, I wanted to talk to you about the very serious situation with water authority. They went around cut off.
All right, another time.
Yeah,
Come, stick to the topic, please.
It's time that they tell us what is the true status.
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing to help us? How are we paying our bills? How are we going to go forward?
All right.
Love you, my sister.
Thank you very much. So I was forgiven for not taking his call this morning. I will forgive you for also calling certain people and making complaints on me. All right. Somebody says, good morning, Extreme Family. The government say they have the best economy running in the region. And why the balling now? Good morning, Extreme Family. When is SVG getting a good hospital? Sit down and wait on that one. In here, we're going to find it. It's hard to borrow money from now on. You don't hear? We have no money. No money there. No money there. As a matter of fact, let us help the government, okay? All the people who owe the Milton Kitty Memorial Hospital the $30 and the $40, one is fill basket. Go and pay your bill now. Thank you very much. If you know you owe the government, go. Wait, I must see why tax returns ain't come out yet, boy. What is you think I know me wait? Everybody wait. Boy, the people I'm working by the post office fed up call. Fed up answer call. You have anything there for me? I must see why tax return second while, boy. Jeez, bread. Go and pay your bill. Probably ready. Anyways, that's for another day, you understand? It says COVID has now become the excuse for poor economic performance. This has been the case long before COVID, when we have forever been on the cusp of an economic takeoff. Like it just there, like you just get into the hill, and it just can't take off yet. Oh boy, oh boy, trouble in the camp. I hope the government would stop. If there are ways that you could save money, please go ahead and do that. We've been asking from time to time. Is that the only way that we can get things done here, by borrowing money? Now it seems as though we may not be able to borrow money, or it is extremely difficult to borrow money. People are not interested in bonds anymore. The securities market, people are not interested in that. Perhaps people might, and the opposition have spoken about, citizens by investment. Maybe now is the time to consider that. Gonsalves, whichever one, father or son, maybe now is the time to consider that. Have a sit down with the opposition and see what they have, what they're thinking, and get some ideas from them, or get some ideas from some other country. Maybe now is the time for that. You got to be creative and try to find ways to get money in the country, because you can't keep raising taxes every year, or every 2 years, or every 5 years. The private sector dwindling. What's next? What is next? Many times we complain about hospital not having this, the state of the government buildings. Simple things. When you look at the hospital too, down there don't have louvers. You pay attention to many of the things that they get is donations. We're in a real bad state, Clearly a really, really bad state, Joy says, go pay hospital bill, and when you go down there, you can't get what you want. Well, for those who would have gotten what they needed, you go and pay your bill. Please. All right? Somebody else says here on the WhatsApp. All right, that is so unrelated. Like, sometimes you just don't want to talk about COVID and vaccine, and everybody just come with this COVID and vaccine. Like, I want to take a break from the COVID and vaccine today, all right? Somebody says, we get plenty money for the volcano. So where the money go? Can't be the plywood house, the bill give them, because you can't move from wall to plywood. That's downgrade. Those buildings out there, the 29 structures, they were donated. All right. So I hope you guys are paying attention to what is happening, or what has been happening. Perhaps you're realizing now why so many of the things cannot be completed, or possibly cannot start, because they just don't have the money to do it. Before they go ahead and cut salaries, they're going to cut, or consider, they will touch first the social programs that are there to assist Vincentians in need. Watch your time in this place. All right. We're going to take a break from the live at Facebook at Extreme 104 SVG. It's 11 minutes on to the 8 o'clock hour. My final thoughts on this one, right? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Well, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I hear you speaking about the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for instance, some of the people coming out of hospital, the bill they to pay, they don't pay in it.
Mm-hmm.
You give them a prescription to get 4 sets of tablets. They get 3 sets of the tablets. They have to go and buy one.
Mm-hmm.
They make a night and they only have to pay $5.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at them, sometimes I tell talk this already on radio.
Mm-hmm.
3-4 days, they been getting a service from flu. But they still have to pay the $100 and something, $200 when the month come.
Mm-hmm.
Good?
Yes, sir.
But still yet, the hospital ain't have this, the hospital ain't have that. Now when the government spends $5 million, $6 million to buy things for the hospital, and you go there and you only have to pay $5. Look, I was in Canada. You hear?
Mm-hmm.
And in 3 months, I had $20,000 saved.
Jeez. Maybe no.
I used to
Get some people some ideas now.
I used to work for $35 an hour painting. You hear? And I go up there, I had arthritis in my knee, and I catch pneumonia up there. I didn't have any medical. And I drifted the $20,000 gone, you know.
I see what you're saying.
And I drifted the $20,000 gone because I had to buy what I want. I had to go doctor, I had to pay doctor bill, I had to pay the prescription bill and everything. And we down here making it easy. Every time you pass down by Flow and them other places, you see they have a day they don't line up. But when you come to the hospital now, the government must spend $4, $5, $6 million and buy the thing, and you must get it for free. That is how we living in this country here.
All right.
Everything, certain thing they want them for free. Since the government, they must give them for free.
Is it their fault? Because they're accustomed to getting a lot of things for free. Is it their fault? Is it people's fault?
Well, they better train the system. They better train the system now.
A lot of incentives are spoiled.
So easy, huh?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, man.
They better train it because when you look at the people and them, they're buying house here, they're buying this. I don't tell them to do it, you know. If young lady they want to do it, they have to do it, they got to do. But tell yet, for you think something, tell you $5 down hospital, pay your hospital bill and all and things like that. You making nice, but when you go by Flow, you're going by Flow, you're telling them, you never see the whole of a placard yet and going by Flow, they're making nice. But they're going from Facebook.
We don't know if the same people who ain't paying the bills is the ones who buying the horse here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you probably know one or two people, but
I know them.
Okay, you know them.
Long from here to Canada.
Okay then. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right. Have a good one. All right. Thank you. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy on my soul. All right. Somebody says here, some comments making it sound like the country's problems are solely that of the sitting government. Is it the citizens? It is the citizens' problem. Huh? Some comments making it sound like the country problems are solely that of the sitting government. It is the citizens' problem. What do you mean? Do you mean that it's not the government alone should be worrying, but it's everybody who should be worrying? Or are you talking about pointing fingers and laying blame? So the current economic circumstance is not the government's fault, or it's the citizens' fault? I'm trying to understand here. All right. So somebody says, why they don't tell utility companies to cut down their bills, but they want to cut down all the structures that are in place to help poor people. All right. So we're going to take a break, taking a vibe right here on the wake up call as we head on up to the 8 o'clock hour this morning. More to work. Thursday drama indeed.